Fear is the tool that shameless lawyers use to win stupid, bogus lawsuits.
That's true, Colin Lay. It is.
So, Shreya, I was listening to somebody else talk about asset protection last night, and that was their point. And we've talked about this before a little bit, right? We talk about leverage and how the other side, the person suing you, has all the leverage. And
Yeah, but leverage seems very like logical. It's like a logical thing, whereas lawsuits can be very emotional.
right. That's why I loved this discussion this person had. And they're talking about how the weapon that attorneys have against you is fear. They know they have that on their side. Fear that if you lose, they could just come and grab your cash, your house, your cars, all that thing. And so that's what gives them their power.
It's true.
And essentially, that by setting up an asset protection plan, that fear goes away. There's no fear that you'll lose things, so that instantly takes the tool away from an attorney who may sue you.
Would you say that an asset protection plan is kryptonite for
Yeah, I think so.
the silly lawsuit superpower?
I think so because it blocks the lawyers from even coming near you, right? Because the idea is like, oh, if you have this plan in place, this asset protection plan, lawyers don't even bother with you. They don't even try to sue you because they're like, move on to someone else.
That's the first line of defense. And then you might have some very persistent, like super evil. Super villains who maybe push through that first layer of defense.
And they're like, I can withstand some of this, but not all of it.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. But I thought it was a great talk. I mean, we have seen it personally. We've experienced it ourselves.
Yes.
Back a few years ago, we had a client who we were helping them battle their own enemies.
Right.
Someone who was stealing things from them, and we were helping fight that. And those attorneys, they got mad, and they sued our client. And for good measure, they sued us as well.
Right. They were like, just name everyone that's ever touched this thing.
Up yours.
Yeah, we hate you all. Put them on the lawsuit.
And for our part, when we looked at whatever their argument was for why we were included, it all basically rested on two things happened on the same date, is what they said. And so when I got that paperwork, I was like, what? And I went and quickly looked up, and it took about 30 seconds to find that these two dates that they said landed on the same day were actually like 3 weeks apart.
Right.
And so
it was based on some incorrect information, the entire premise of this argument against us.
Right. So knowing that, we knew that we could essentially go into a courtroom and say, hey, judge, here are these postmark dates that happened 3 weeks apart.
Right.
Let's toss this thing out.
Even though we knew that we would have that argument and the judge would most likely be on our side, it was still up to someone else. And the whole process until getting to that point still made us really nervous and anxious.
Terrified, Shreya. Terrified.
Yeah. Because what if things didn't, play out the way we thought? We just didn't know. It was fear of the unknown.
Yeah. That's when those mind games start.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what else I was thinking about?
What?
Donald Trump. So, I mean, even before he was elected president, he was a known suer.
He was. He was.
He's got like
an avid suer. I would say it was one of his top hobbies.
Yeah, like 3,000 plus lawsuits over 20 years or something like that. So basically, that's the tool used. That fear is a tool to win arguments, to win conflict, whatever. It's like, well, I'm going to sue you now unless you give in to me.
Yeah.
Legal violence.
I mean, people use that in life also. Like, I mean, I hear stories all the time of something just like escalates that has no business being escalated. And then the other person's like, well, I'm going to sue you.
Overall conclusions. Asset protection plan can take the fear away from you.
Yeah.
And when there's no fear, those no good, rotten attorneys have lost their
Superpower.
They've lost their superpower. They've lost their weapon, their main tool to use against you.
Which is great.